Hello everyone, Anna Morales here again, and welcome to my very first reaction video. I know I'm not the first one to talk about the 1983 Down the Mine pilot, but I want to express my opinion on it. The Down the Mine pilot was released on the official Thomas & Friends YouTube channel on May 9th of this year. And when I heard this news, I was very shocked and very hyped up at the same time. And if you see my top 3 Thomas & Friends merchandise I'm looking forward to for the 80th anniversary, at that time I was making the video, I was expecting the Down the Mine pilot to be released onto a DVD as a bonus feature, but it's on YouTube, so anyone can watch it for free. Now, before I play the pilot, I just want to say, if you haven't seen the pilot yet, I recommend that you go watch it for yourselves and then come back to the video, because I don't want this video to be your first exposure to the pilot, because I want you to enjoy it for yourselves. Now, without further ado, let's watch the pilot along with Snoopy. I like that. Great way to start it off, showing how the pilot was made. Oh, before we move on, this shot right here, since the shot showing of Gordon being pushed by a hand, from what I heard, the models that were used for Thomas and Gordon, they were made out of plastic, and they weren't tested on camera before actually being filmed, so they performed terribly. And as a result, they had to use fishing wire and sometimes hands to make them move. In this shot right here that was shown, that was one example of what I mean. And look at that. The pilot was told by none other than Ringo Starr. From what I heard, there were a lot of Thomas users that said that Ringo Starr did narrate it, while others say he didn't. But now that the pilot's out, it settles it. Also, Mike O'Donnell returned to this pilot to compose a new score for it. And according to an interview, he said that he didn't remember composing any music for it. And look at that, he came back for this model production. Nice.
One day, Thomas was at the junction when Gordon shuffled in with some trucks.
Her expression.
Phew! Remarked Thomas. What a funny smell. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it till you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours. Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water.
Before we move on, this shot right here, this was from the final episode. I think they used this because they didn't have the actual take of Thomas backing up to Annie and Clarabelle. That could explain why this take was used.
Before Gordon could answer, Thomas puffed away. Annie and Clarabelle could hardly believe their ears.
Oh, here's another shot.
That was funny, he chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself. Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine. Thomas left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some trucks.
This shot right here, this infamous shot of Thomas going by Nafford Station, this was definitely a shot that was from the final episode, but it's actually from the pilot. That's a great way to use it. Showing that this was a piece of lost media.
Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Though strong enough to hold up trucks, their roofs could not bear the weight of engines. Silly old board, he thought. He had often tried to pass it and he had never succeeded. But this morning he had made a plan. He had to push the empty trucks into one siding and pull out full ones from another.
That's a great narration line that Ringo Starr did. That was a narration line that was never used in the final episode. Thomas pushing empty trucks into one siding and picking up full ones. That's a great addition to detail to explain why Thomas was at the mine to begin with.
Come on, waved the fireman. The driver leaned out of the cab to see where they were going. Now, said Thomas to himself.
Hold on right there. That's not Thomas's whistle. That sounds like a fake imposter, Thomas. But at the time that Britt Allcroft, David Mitton, and the rest of the crew were working on the pilot, they didn't have the right whistle for Thomas, and that's why they used that whistle for Thomas. They didn't know which one was the right one.
Hurrah, laughed Thomas, and he followed the trucks into the siding. Stupid old board, said Thomas. There's no danger, there's no danger. Look out, shouted his driver. Come back. Fire and smoke, said Thomas. I'm sunk. And he was.
That shot of the mine showing that it was just about to collapse, that was a great addition to detail. That's something that never occurred in the final episode. It just showed Thomas just falling right in. I like that.
Thomas could just see out of the hole, but he couldn't move. Oh dear, he said, I am a silly engine. And a very naughty one, too. I saw you, said the fat controller. Please get me out, I won't be naughty again.
Tears.
I'm not sure, replied the fat controller. We can't lift you out with the crane, the ground's not firm enough. Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out.
Oh, this close-up of Topham. This was also from the pilot that was reused for the final episode. I'm just saying that because that was just something that was rather different.
Yes, sir, said Thomas nervously, but he didn't really want to meet Gordon just yet.
Wonky eyes again.
Down a mine, is he? Ho, 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 laughed Gordon. What a jokey chortle, puffing to the rescue. Poof, poof, little Thomas, we'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Strong
That's
cables were
nice.
fastened between the two engines. Are you ready? Heave, called the fat
There's
controller.
more close-ups that were in the final episode. This one too.
It was a lot harder than they all thought.
I like the shot of Gordon's wheel spinning. That just shows how much he's struggling to pull Thomas out.
But at last he was free. I'm sorry I was cheeky, said Thomas. That's all right, Thomas, you made me laugh. I'm in disgrace, Gordon went on pathetically. I feel very low. I'm in disgrace too, said Thomas. Why, so you are, Thomas. We're both in disgrace. Shall we form an alliance? An ally? What was it?
That piece of dialogue was also never used in the final episode. Thomas struggling to say an alliance. I like that.
Asked Thomas. An alliance, Thomas. United we stand, together we fall, said Gordon grandly. Right you are, said Thomas. Good, that's settled, mumbled Gordon. And buffer to buffer, the allies
Nice
puffed
buffer
home.
close-up. like how they show Railway Series pictures for the credits, with some down the line pictures, of course. There's Steve Asquith right there. That's a great way to wrap it all up. In memory of Britt Allcroft, may she rest in peace. My overall thoughts? That was great. The models of Thomas and Gordon definitely look different compared to the ones used in the final show. And they were missing a lot of details like the lamp irons and so on. But they look pretty good. And I think there were some great addition to details, like some narration bits, like the narrator explaining Thomas picking up some some cars from the mine, and when Thomas was struggling to say an alliance, that was also good. And there were some nice addition to details, like showing the mine that it was collapsing, and some more close-ups of like Gordon's wheels spinning, and some buffer close-ups. My overall score, I give it a 9.5 out of 10 stars. Well, that's it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.